I'm sorry, I'm just kind of having fun with the music here. I'm Cindy Dole.
Hey, I'm Eric Stromer.
And hi, this is Home Wizards. We love to make you feel good about the place you call home, improve a home, improve your life. And, I don't know about your under the sink area. Does it seem to you that it's neat and tidy?
I have had very severe issues, and I'll tell you what those issues are.
Now, which sink? Give me a visual. The kitchen sink?
Imagine if you were me and you were in the middle of trying to get a fancy meal put together. Kids are sitting there waiting every night, and then you got to find a lid. You got to find the lid of a pot, or you got to find the Tupperware top to seal off the leftovers. You got to, and you open that drawer and it doesn't open. Why? Because things are sticking out of there like
cattywampus,
wood in a swamp or something. You can't get it out, right?
No.
What happens? You get frustrated.
And then all of a sudden you go into a corner.
And then you go, you know what? I'm going to take all these lids and throw them away because I can't find the bottoms. And then 2 weeks later you find the bottoms because they were out in the yard all along. Because your daughter's using them as like little fairy swimming pools, right?
Right.
And then you realize, like, I have no order, I have no system. Now I've thrown these lids out of frustration. Now I got nothing but bottoms. Then you go and you buy more at the big box store, and you're back in the cycle again.
Well,
it makes me crazy. It really makes me crazy.
Let's take a
Let's take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath because there's a lot of
high to the sky.
Yes,
but you know what I'm saying, right?
I totally do, and it's like everything throughout your house, wherever you live. It's not only creating a system, but then maintaining it.
Yeah, and then having everybody on the same page because the bowls can't be what do you sure do? Really mess the
system. Mess up the system.
I know. And then you're using like the bottoms for mixing watercolors, and then there's
like, what are you doing?
Paint in the thing you're trying to put the asparagus.
You might need to even put labels on these things so people know what the rules are.
Yeah.
But let's talk about organizing under the sink areas and some tricks and some solutions because when I look at my under the sink areas, I get inspired and I go, okay, I'm going to go to one of those organization supply stores.
Well, see, now that's another thing that makes me crazy because there's
now,
so much.
That's totally the feeling. So here's tip number one. Don't go to one of those stores until you first look at your under sink area. You need to kind of measure it. You need to kind of figure out what you're going to put there. I know that doesn't sound as fun, but boy, I get paralyzed when I walk into those stores because the things are pricey.
And they all seem like such great solutions.
I know.
And the photos on the packaging make it seem like, here's the answer.
See?
Right? And then you get all this. Then you have 10 things that are supposed to do the same job, and then it makes me
nuts.
It's
very sad. So before you do that, first let's talk about pots and pans. Now, let's say you have underneath your kitchen sink, you have some stock pots, you have a stand mixer, you've got a slow cooker, in the back. You want to keep things that you reach for often in the front, like saucepans and frying pans.
Right.
And you can buy these lid racks that can accommodate more than the obvious. I mean, imagine, almost like in the oven, that little metal rack that goes in.
That's right.
All those little slits, they sell smaller versions of that to hold all of your pot lids.
That makes
so it's like a filing system.
It's
so
huge.
They're going in vertically like
That's it.
and that and they even come on a trolley, so they kind of roll out. So envision this again like inside your oven, that baking rack, but a smaller version that goes underneath your kitchen sink.
Right.
It comes in on rollers, so you're just gracefully, instead of having to tuck your head all the way under the sink, you're kind of sliding it out.
Yeah.
And there are your lids.
See, and you're even saying it in a gentle manner where I feel like things are going to be okay. I really do. Thank you. No, seriously though, because and I've tried to store them flat. That doesn't work because, let's face it, and everyone's kitchen is never quite big enough for storage because as you get more into cooking, you want to have more things, and then you think you need the double boiler and the big pot and the 5-gallon, whatever. And then it gets crazy. So I love that idea, the vertical lids.
And I think a good way to visualize what you might need before you go to those stores, again, there's a bunch of these great websites that show you all kinds of new gadgets to really make your life simple. One website's called Organize.com. I mean, who knew, right? Kind of basic. But when you go there, you can click on whether it's kitchen or bathroom or laundry or whatever, and you'll see some of these different gadgets. Now, don't buy anything yet. Just look at them.
Just look and see what would work for you.
And then go measure underneath your sinks and figure out, okay, now what do I normally need to put there? And now you're ready to shop. Now you're ready to say, you know what, I'm going to do it. You
Yeah,
know?
and don't forget those disposals take up a huge amount of space, right? So
Oh, you're right. Because yes,
they really hang down quite far. So you know, some of the photos on these packages are going to make it seem like there's a cavernous amount of room, but it's actually kind of cattywampus in terms of what you can really get in there. Look how the system is now. Pull out everything that you have. A lot of times you'll have doubles of different cleaning supplies, or you know, different brushes or sponges that you might think you need, and then you know, consolidate. Again, it's about really kind of policing what you already have, finding a system from there, and then, to your point, designing it before you buy it, and then buy it.
And I know you're not a fan of Lazy Susans all the time,
I like the Lazy Susan, but I don't like the Lazy Susan corner cabinetry unit.
So we're talking about the portable Lazy Susan.
Now that I don't mind.
So, but picture, because you talked about all this pipe stuff that's underneath your sink, it's taking up space. Like, get out of my way. I want more room.
Right.
You could get one of these inexpensive little Lazy Susans, and isn't that handy now to store some of your, you know, your bottles of soaps and sprays and that kind of a thing.
Yeah, it really is.
And by the way, they also make, like at organize.com and some of the physical stores, solutions where the drawers, they have a little curve in the back, so it accommodates all of that piping that's under the sink. So it kind of tucks in there.
That's kind of cool.
Some of them. So you just have to be careful.
Now you know what else I've seen that I really like.
What's that?
It's imagine if you had a bar that's, you know, stretches like almost like a shower curtain rod that goes underneath the sink, so that you can hang spray bottles on that bar going across. So that gives you
Put the trigger
over the bar, and then those just kind of hang neatly. Maybe you know, label them or organize them. Maybe they're clear bottles, whatever. Mm-hmm. At least it gets stuff up off the floor of that cabinet base, and then you've got a little bit more room underneath to then store another layer of things.
And that's inexpensive.
Because under the sink reminds me of the top shelf of the closet. It appears like there's a whole lot of space, but it's so cavernous that it's wasted space. There's nothing to do except stack a bunch of stuff on top of each other. Same feels true under a sink, you know. You can pile a bunch of junk piled on top of itself, but that's not really going to do any good in terms of organization.
And don't forget to really maximize over the cabinet door, because now if you have, as long as there isn't too much heft and the door won't close again, but so that's why you want to measure it. But you can get some of these over the cabinet door little baskets.
Yep.
There's a great website called stacksandstacks.com. But again, just to kind of investigate, shop, you probably could find some of these things in the physical stores, same price, maybe even cheaper. But, you know, just look and see. That might be a good solution to put maybe some sponges and things.
Yeah.
Just to tuck it in there so you feel like you've got more room.
I also like, you know, the bucket with the cleaning supplies in it.
Perfect.
So that you pull the whole thing out when you're going to work on the bathroom, for example, you know, or the kitchen cleaning area.
As long as the height works, right?
As long as the height works and it tucks in nice and easy, you know, then it gives you the ability to at least have everything contained. Because I'd hate when some of these cleaning supplies spill, and then that gets on the bottom base of the cabinet. And then ultimately, you know, too much moisture down there is going to sort of eat away at that particle board that is the bottom of your sink base cabinet. And then that sort of goes away on you, and pretty soon you got an issue where, you know, you have to replace it, and then you're into hundreds of dollars to replace that base cabinet. So.
And back to that tension rod, by the way, you could get that at the big box stores for like maybe $6.
That's about it, yeah.
And now you really are, like all we talk about in organization, now you're having two stories.
That's it.
Because you have an upper and you have a lower. You have a lower and upper deck to kind of tuck your stuff in there.
That's it. Really helpful.
Yeah. So go to our website, yourhomewizards.com. All the information's always there. Remember this, we love to improve your home and improve your life. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole. The key is under the mat.